Good morning, dear students. Welcome to the class of economics once again. And as you already know that we have started with the second chapter of economics, that is utility analysis. We have covered lot many things in that chapter, starting with the introduction. Then we have covered 10 major features of utility. Then we have also covered the types of utility with their respective examples. And we have also shared the written notes on both the questions. Hope you have written in your notebook. I've got so many emails regarding the questions asked to write on your notebook. Regarding your homework. That was not a homework, but it's a part of your homework. So I've got some emails, not all emails, not from everyone as I have expected, but I've got some emails. That is good. Hope you will try to improve. Hope you will give more emails based on that. So before I would start with the today's content, so we have covered so many questions. Now today we're gonna cover two different questions, starting with concept of utility. Today is our chapter. Date is 19th May 2020. The first question is concept of utility. This is only asked for 2 marks. And as you all know that utility is given by Stanley Jevons. Later on it is elaborated by Dr. Alfred Marshall. So Alfred Marshall has took a strong initiative for making concept of utility. So first concept of utility is your total utility. If you see over here, total utility. Before I would read this, let me tell you total utility. What is total utility? Total utility is the power of a commodity which we get after consumption. And what is total utility? Means when a consumer consumes number of commodities at one point of time. Let me repeat. When a consumer consumes number of commodities at one point of time, and after that totally what utility he derives, that is called total utility. Would you like to repeat? Would you want me to repeat again? So one consumer, single consumer, number of commodity, whatever number of commodity, mangoes, apples, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, number of commodities, what he eats at one time, and the utility what he earns, what he derives, it's called total utility. Suppose a consumer consumes 1 apple. So let's say, basically utility cannot be measured in numbers. So suppose, let's say an example that he consumes 1 apple, so he get 10 utility. So if he eats 1 apple, so he get 10 utilities. At the same time, he continues eating the apple, and he eats 5 apples, so he get 50 utilities. So this is only a hypothetical example. Hypothetical means this is not a true. This is an assumption. He will get 50 utilities. Understand? So without wasting time, read this. Total utility refers means related to the aggregate. Aggregate means total of utilities. Total of utilities derived means consumes by the consumer. What consumer have to do? He have to consume what? Commodity from all units. What do you mean by all? So as I said, one point of time. Suppose he have eaten 5 apples, so that 5 will be called as all units of commodity consumes. So at one point of time, whatever commodity he consumes and whatever utility he derives, it's called total utility. It is an aggregate of utilities from all successive. Successive means one by one. One by one if he eats at the same point of time. It's not like that he eats one, then after 10 minutes he will eat second, then total utility will not become. So it is an aggregate of utilities from all successive units of a commodity. How you can calculate the total utility? It's very simple. Total utility, this is the formula. Total utility is equal to U1. This is U1, utility 1, what he gets from first apple. Then extra, when he eats the second apple, so whatever utility he gets from the second apple will be added to the first. Then if he eats, in the continuation, if he eats third apple, so whatever he gets from third apple, that will be added to his first utility. So total utility can be calculated as first utility 10, second utility 8, 9, 10, whatever, and then 9, 8, 10, whatever. So that all will be added together and it will become total utility. Hope you have understand. So it is written. Now the second concept, part B, we will discuss just now. Here we have a marginal utility. This is a second concept, important concept. We have a marginal utility. If you see, marginal utility refers to related to the additional utility. Very important point. This term is very important. Additional utility. Marginal is what? It is an additional utility derived by a consumer from an additional unit of a commodity consumed. Okay, so what happened? Marginal utility refers to the additional unit. When he gets a marginal, when he eats second one. After satisfaction level, when he eats second one, then additional starts. Then marginal utility starts. So marginal utility he gets from the additional unit after consuming. So in other words, this is in simple words, it is the additional made by the last unit of commodity consumed. So whatever last commodity he consumes and whatever he gets from that commodity, whatever utility he gets from that commodity, it's called marginal utility. As simple, the term is very simple. It is an additional utility. Marginal is nothing but it is an additional utility. So now we have covered the concept of utility, means we have covered concept of utility, that is total utility and marginal utility. This you can write while you differentiate the total utility and marginal utility. This will come in your meaning point. So whenever you write difference of total TU and MU, you can write the meaning, and in the meaning point you can cover these all explanation what we have just now discussed. So after that, the second question is we have to discuss the relationship between total utility and marginal utility. So this is not enough. We have to also discuss the total utility and marginal utility differences. So this chart or this banner is not much enough to cover all that points. So what I did, I have all made it written, and I'll share you all my written notes with the brief example and explanation. Okay, so you will understand everything. Don't you worry. So just stay connected.
So dear students, here we have a relationship between total utility and marginal utility. So first of all, you have to understand the formula for calculation of TU. Total utility can be calculated only with the help of this formula, where you have this sign, summation of MU, or in simply how you can understand or how you can calculate TU, that TU is equal to MU1, marginal utility of first commodity, plus marginal utility of second commodity, plus marginal utility of third commodity. So if you'll add all three utilities respectively, you will get a total utility. Understand? So you will understand that this total utility with this table relationship, you will understand with this help of this table. You see here, marginal utility derived from various units of a commodity and its total utility are interrelated. So what does it say? Marginal utility and total utility are interrelated. The both utilities are related internally. So total utility and marginal utility are dependent on each other. Now this can be easily followed from hypothetical example. Now this is a term basically which you won't understand. Hypothetical means which is not on facts. So this table is all an assumption. This is not a fact. I mean, the utility does not this is not work like that. So this is our only assumption. This is whatever we have made. No, this is only assumption. So in the table we have three columns starting with first unit of x. X is nothing but your commodity. We took 7 commodities. Now we have a total utility, and then we have a marginal utility. Now see, first, this is the first you have to understand over here. In the previous video which I have made, I have made this table live with all explanation, but the video is unable to send. That's why I'm making the second video. So if a consumer eat first mango, now you have to understand the relationship between total utility and marginal utility. So if a consumer, suppose this is a commodity X, we can assume that any commodity like apple or mango, whatever. So if consumer consumes first commodity, he will earn total utility will be 10 and marginal utility will be 10. Utility is nothing but a capacity or a power. What power he get? So utility cannot be measured in numbers, right? We have discussed in the features. So utility cannot be considered or cannot be calculated in the numbers, cardinal numbers. That's why I said this is an hypothetical example. This is not a fact. So this is just an example that he'll get a 10 number of utility. Now after eating first mango, if he'll get a 10 marginal utility, at the same time he'll get a total 10 utilities. So at the initial stage, total and marginal both are same. Now once he start eating second mango or after a consumption of second mango, marginal utility will be 8. Marginal utility will be 8. Now the question is, if he eats first mango and he gets 10 utilities, so then how it become 8? So here total utility shows the total utility, total capacity of a commodity, but marginal utility shows the interest level. So if you become a consumer, if you eat the first mango, if you eat one mango, you will get 10 utility, you will eat that mango with the full interest. But second mango, definitely you will not get a full interest on that. You will not enjoy as compared to the first one. So your marginal utility will definitely fall down. So we are assuming that marginal utility fall down by 2. So what if you see the formula to calculate total utility, the formula was marginal utility of 1, marginal utility of 2 and marginal utility of 3 and so on. If you calculate, you will get a total utility. So 10, then you have a marginal utility of 8, so you have added, then it becomes 18. Then the consumer consumes third mango, so he get only 6 marginal utilities. So again we have added that 6 into 18 becomes 24. Now consumer eaten 3 mangoes, he get total utilities 24 and marginal utility is 6, and so on. He goes on consuming 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th mango. So if you see the experience of a consumer, when he eats 5th mango, he gets 2 marginal utility. At the same time, he have a 30 total utility, but after consuming, when he consumes 6th mango, he get 0. That means here he felt the satisfaction. Here he is fully satisfied with the eating of mangoes. His tummy or his stomach is full. Here interest is also full. So at the same time, his total utility also 30, because 30 plus 0 becomes 30. But if we force the consumer, if we ask him to eat 7 mango, here you can see the disutility, because that utility comes in a minus, that is minus 2. So what happens? His total utility also reduced, it falls down. So this is what relationship between total utility and marginal utility. So it can be further explained with the help of diagram. So based on this table, you have to make a diagram. You see here we have a diagram. On the basis of the table 2.1, your total utility and marginal utility curve TU and MU can be derived with the following diagram. So the above curve, this curve is TU curve, total utility curve, and this curve is your marginal utility curve. So on the y-axis, what we are showing total and marginal utility, and on a x-axis we are taking a units of commodity x, that is mangoes. So how many mangoes? 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, and we are assuming the numbers with 5 10 15 20 and so on till 40. So based on this table, we have drawn this, we have made the diagram. So here, if you see here, the 6th mango, when consumer consumes 6th mango, marginal utility is 0. That means he got a full satisfaction. The same way here, 6th mango, when he eats 6th mango, he get a point of satiety. Satiety means full of satisfaction, understand? Here a consumer gets full satisfaction. Now after, when he eats 7th mango, disutility can be seen. What is disutility? This minus portion, 0 minus 2. So here he has this portion is called disutility portion. This is a MU curve. This curve is MU curve. This curve is total utility curve. So here he has a disutility. That means he start ill effects of the consumption after consuming the 7th mango. so he may start vomiting, or he may have a problem in his stomach. So this is what a dissatisfaction also. This is a dissatisfaction level. This dissatisfaction level comes after point of satiety. If you are satisfied with the commodity, and even if you start eating, that will be, that will harm you. So this is an example of that. So x-axis measures the units of commodity consumed, while y-axis indicates the figure of total and marginal utility. So your TU curve slopes upward, whereas your marginal utility curve slopes downwards. Understand? Now here we have some more explanation, differences, point-wise differences. We have pointed out the differences of TU and MU curve. So marginal utility curve shows 0, negative levels of marginal utility, whereas total utility curve shows maximum and constant total utility level. Point number 1, TU and MU of the very first unit of X consumed are the same. Point number 2, as the consumer consumes further units of X, that is mangoes, the TU increases at a diminishing rate and MU goes on diminishing. That means when he eats first mango, he get both TU and MU was 10, but after eating second, it should be 20, but it is falling, it is increasing but at a diminishing rate, and it is decreasing only. So it is falling down and it is increasing but at a diminishing rate. So this is what the second point says. Now we have a third point. Third point says at a particular stage total utility reaches to its maximum and remains constant, where marginal utility becomes 0. This is called the point of satiety, which we have seen, where TU will be highest but MU is 0. You can see that in the diagram. Fourth point, after this point, any additional unit consumed further result in a decline in the TU, while MU becomes negative. So after satisfaction, after 6th mango, when he eats 7th mango, what he experienced, his TU is falling down from 30 to 28, whereas his marginal utility becomes minus. So the consumption beyond the point of satiety transforms satisfaction into dissatisfaction. So in other words, a consumer start experiencing ill effects of a consumption. Now here we have a homework for you. So in the last lecture of types of utility, I got many emails as I asked you to send, but this time I would expect much more emails from you. Sincere students are sending me, but due to maybe some technology issue or some technical, I can say, short of technical issues, people. So here we have a homework for you, whereas the meaning this is a differentiation between your TU and MU. So we have a meaning, first point in TU and first point in MU. But wherever you will see the question marks. So you have to fill it, and you have to click a photograph, and you have to send it to me. Understand? So starting with the second point, what you have experienced till now, TU increases at a diminishing rate. So what comes in MU, you have to find out. So in the third point, what you have seen in the marginal utility, it at a point of satiety marginal utility becomes 0. So what happened with the total utility, you have to find out. In the fourth point, total utility declines if consumption continues. So what happened with the marginal utility, you have to find out. In the fifth point, you have seen total utility determines value in use of a commodity. Then you have to find out what happens with marginal utility. And the sixth point, at the sixth point, we have marginal utility can be positive, 0 or negative. And in the total utility, you have to find out what happens with the sixth after consumption of 6th mango in total utility. So this is what your homework, you have to send it to me. This is only a work which I have asked you to send. So hope you will all send to me. And if you have any question, you also can send it to me on the same email. Okay, thank you.